Känslor strålar när by. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Your dark heroes being sung by a show and frogs they supply Eskimos. Everybody know our jockey earns some turtle.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Christmas episode. I'm your host, Afro Matt, and this is the Afro Matt Show. If you're just listening, I'm holding up my mug, the the Afro Matt Show podcast mug, officially licensed mug, not officially licensed, created on a third-party app. It was a Christmas present for me, pretty badass. So there's nothing in it, but it's official show now. I've got a high quality mic, high quality camera. I've got a real mug, so now I can do where you like interview. I feel like all those late night television guys always have a mug next, like on their desk. I don't know. Yeah, they always have a mug. It's nice to have a mug that has my name on it. I don't know what they have in that mug. Probably like booze. It's just full of booze. Only way they can get through an episode. Jimmy Fallon I'm pretty sure he used to be a hardcore alcoholic, but I mean, this is like the coolest shit. The Afro Matt Show with my logo on it. Badass shit. That was one of my gifts. But my gift to I wanted to thank everyone. This is episode 100. I wanted to thank everyone who watches on and off, whoever, if you watch every episode, if you watch on and off. If this is your first episode, everyone in between, I wanted to thank you guys for being here, listening to my the rantings of a madman, and coming along for the ride, sharing with your friends. I really appreciate all that. And I wanted to say thank you. It's been episode 100. It's almost 104. That's almost 2 years of doing this, which is super excited about. We're going into year 3. So, and I know that there's not many, but there's 50 people that watch on and off. I mean, I think our last episode got 40 views on YouTube, and then on Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever, the use. I think there was maybe another 20, 15, 20 usually on that. So I'm thankful. I know it's not Thanksgiving, but Christmas is the time of, exposing yourself. Not literally. I say exposing myself while I'm in a robe. I'm dressed like I'm going to go flash kids in the park. I'm going to go flash people on the subway after this. That's a fun Christmas activity. Public but let's go I mean right into the news. I'll share an anecdote. I mean, Christmas time is the time for anecdotes, and I wanted to share one from my Christmas experience. My Christmas day probably went much similar to a lot of other people's. My aunt and my grandpa flew in they're from Boston. So that's fun. And they're really Irish, so my mom and everyone went out shopping for a lot of booze. You got to keep them satiated. And Christmas Day, my family doesn't do a lot of cooking. So we went out to Chinese food, which is good. Sushi. It was like a Chinese buffet. And it's that the restaurant was packed. It was like full of people, and our family's just like screaming, like not really screaming, but like we're having we talk really loud, and we talk with our hands. We're very expressive. We're just like yelling back and forth, point counterpoint on various social justice topics, foreign policies, it's fun. It's a good time, and that's what Christmas is about: is pretending to be a expert on foreign policy, social policies, and really, the people that are doing those aren't really experts either. Everyone is just kind of like, AOC. She's like, yeah, she's a feminist, but she's also just a person. Like, I mean, she probably went to Harvard or something. What? No. What am I talking about? Wasn't she a bartender? Where did AOC go to college? Now, I don't hate AOC. She's actually kind of hot, so I know that's like against her whole thing. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, burst into the national political scene 2018. She said, "I've never taken an environmental course in college." Okay, why does that care? Okay, she attended Boston University, which is cool. She double majored in international relations and economics. It's fun, and you get to talk to in every family there's a good mix of people that would probably have gone to the January 6th rally and people that would join Antifa. There's a good mix in most families. In any good family, it's a mix of, one of those two demographics. And our family is no different. And it's fun talking to both sides, especially as someone who, I mean, really, I'm not a nihilist, but I really don't have an affiliation for either side. I just pick and choose. I cherry pick from whichever side that best fits what I align myself with, as everyone should. But but it's fun talking to people, and you get an idea of like, well, oh my god, yeah, and of course going to like the girlfriend's family and stuff. They're from California, so they have a lot less of a mix of people that would join January 6th people, and they have a lot more Antifa fans. So I got to talk to a couple of them, and that's always a good time. Talking about, my stances are a little bit probably problematic compared to what they're used to. We were talking about Ukraine and stuff, which is fun. Foreign policy. It's fun to casually talk about when you're eating Christmas dinner. We were talking about, and of course some of them still wear their masks, which is funny. I mean, it's just funny in general. It's like COVID's been over for like a year now. Let's chill. It's 2023. Is it not 2023? No, it's 2022 almost. Pretty much 2023, guys. COVID's over. But they might watch this and never talk to me again, but got to talk about the housing market and stuff. You get into a lot of interesting discussions, and it's a good time. It's a good time. That's my favorite part about Christmas. I mean, the gifts are awesome, but talking to people about things that they think that they're an expert on, and you also think that you're an expert on, is really what brings Christmas together, and family gatherings, and everyone has a different viewpoint on the world, and a lot of them are wrong. But that's what you're there for. That's why you listen to this podcast. This is a Christmas gathering. We are having a Christmas gathering right now. So, welcome to Christmas dinner with Matt. But yeah, let's get right into it. So every year there's a big problem with let's just get right into the news. So I'm not even going to play the news noise because that's annoying. And we're trying to do like a Christmas vibe thing, guys. You get it. But so every year there's a big problem with porch pirates. Porch pirates is a thing of people going around to people's porches and stealing Amazon gifts off of their porch. A lot of people share videos of like from their Ring doorbell, people getting their shit stolen. I wanted to share one of my favorite porch pirates of the season. Mexican police find... Oh, my bad. Mexican police find 660 pounds of fentanyl in coconuts. Prosecutors in Mexico say police found 660 pounds, which is 300 kilograms, of fentanyl pills packed into coconuts. The coconuts were found in a truck traveling on a highway in the northern border state of Sonora. Prosecutors said that the truck was detected Thursday on a road that runs along the Gulf of California, also known as the Sea of Cortez. According to the photos of the bust, the coconut husks had been neatly split in half and reassembled with plastic bags of fentanyl pills inside. The road eventually leads to the border town of Sonoita, across the border in Lukeville, Arizona. Yeah, I mean, Santa Claus was coming to town. Dude, Arizona was about to get a nice freaking Christmas gift this year. 660 pounds of fentanyl. I actually found this as well. The DEA this year has seized enough fentanyl to kill every U.S. citizen. That's a fun stat. Hey, bring that one up. Bring that one up during Christmas. Hey, Michelle. I'm just using a generic name. Did you know the DEA seized enough deadly fentanyl this year to kill every U.S. citizen? That's a fun way to start the conversation. They might be against fentanyl, or you might find out some people are really, really for fentanyl. Well, the people that are doing it need to die anyway, so might as well get them done. That doesn't sound like a Michelle, but I don't know who is for fentanyl. What does that even mean? Being for fentanyl? But no, this is actually fun. It's a fun Christmas gag. Coconuts. It's like an episode of Scooby-Doo. You pull the mask off. It's the CIA operator. He's like, yeah, there's a reason why there's enough fentanyl to kill every U.S. citizen in case we have to. They're like fully prepared. Another Christmas story. I try to gather some Christmas stories for this one. Grandmother charges her family 180 what is that? Is that pounds? That's a pound, I think. 180 pounds for their Christmas dinner. That's fun. Some think I'm a bit of a Scrooge, says teaching assistant who can afford to give everyone turkey and all the trimmings. A grandmother has come up with a way to ease the financial burden of having a family round for Christmas. Charge them all for dinner. Carolyn Dudred devised a tiered fee system for her relatives that brought in around 180 this year to help cover the cost of turkey and all the trimmings for her 5 adult children and their families. There's a few out there who think I'm a bit of a Scrooge, but my friends think it's quite a good idea, she told BBC Radio. She said she had the idea after the death of her husband in 2015 left her with only half of a house-come income to live on. She initially asked relatives to put in small amounts regularly towards the end of the year, but the administration became too cumbersome. I said to my children, right, so it costs a lot of money. I'm going to do a little kitty jar, and you put $2 away starting in September. Sounds good, doesn't it? Well, of course, bit of shambolic, trying to keep track of where everyone, a few stragglers. Instead, the teaching assistant decided to charge her sons $15 each and their 3 daughters $10 each, while her 4 granddaughters were charged $5 each, and their 3-year-old grandchild paid $2.50. Transferred to her bank account. So this is what Christmas is all about. Sharing times with the family, home-cooked meals, charging your family to spend time with you and eat your food. More people should adopt this system. Keep the festivity alive. Times are tough out there, and they're only getting tougher. And you have to get creative. And if that means charging your family for the food that they eat, so be it. those freeloaders eating your food, you should charge them for the presents. Wrapping paper. Charge them for anything that you can do. Track electricity for the ornaments on your tree. If they come over, they're paying. Times are tough. We're in a recession. In this economy, free food. In this economy, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Yeah, that's not happening. Not in this household. You're paying every damn dime. There's going to be a door fee. A door fee to get into this Christmas party. Yeah. I mean, honestly, she should have just done that. Instead of paying for the food, a door fee, a flat door fee. If you can't pay $15 to enter to do our white elephant, sorry, you're not doing it. Yeah. And that'll get them really invested, because then they have to spend like $25 on the gift, and then they already spent the $25. Then they got to do a $10 entry fee. So now they're like already invested. So now they're not leaving. You stamp everyone's hand. You say, "Are you 21? Can I see your ID?" And then you stamp their hand. You write a little star on a Sharpie, so you know everyone who can drink. Honestly, the more I flesh out this idea, the more it sounds like a good thing. You have like an open bar. It's like $5. You enter $10 or whatever. Drink all you want. Have fun festivities. You eat free food. I think a lot of people can learn from this grandmother. No one told her name. They just refer to her as grandmother, but she might pave the way for a lot of recession Christmases coming up. A lot of people say we aren't in a recession, but we are 100% going to a recession pretty recently. This was another highly discussed topic during Christmas with the California family, my girlfriend's family, which is fun because they own a lot of property, and it was fun telling them that it was probably going to go down pretty soon, at least year over year. It's impossible to compete with 2022. It's impossible to compete with it. So your home value is going to go down, and they did buy in the last couple of years. So I'm sorry to say, if you buy you didn't buy on the dip, you got a good rate. You didn't buy on the dip. You bought on like the freaking maximum. Eventually, when you talk to people enough, and you kind of get a good idea, and it's fun. It's a fun time. Let's see. Do I have any more Christmas stories? Brighton in London, having some tough times this Christmas. Everyone needs to keep Brighton in their hearts this Christmas. Life or death as Brightons buckle under the cost of living. In a community in central London, a young child plays in a makeshift area as her caregiver rocks her stroller and chats to a friend. The Oasis Centre in Waterloo sits on a 4-story building that has a warm, inviting feeling with plush chairs and lots of potted plants. But it's not your regular high street hangout. This is a haven for families and local people to escape the bitter squeeze of Britain's cost of living crisis, if only just for an afternoon. So things are so bad in England, and this is what confused me, because I'm like, I thought England was supposed to be like this place. Like when Donald Trump won, people are like, "I'm moving to Canada. I'm moving to Britain." I'm like, do they have a different system than us? Don't they still elect people? Like, people in Canada are still being elected, right? Also, I found this out because we played a little trivia. I found out that Canada is only like 100 years old. It was founded in like 1880 or something. 1886. Is that crazy or what? When was Canada independent? Oh, 1867. July 1st, 1867. Like, so you're telling me that Canada as a country is only like 140 years old? That's like 2 old people That's two 70-year-olds. I'm also kind of sick. It's been like -4 outside. I've gotten ass blasted by the cold, like twice. It sucks. But things in Britain are like not good. It's not good. There are people who are like, they can't. The cost of living is so high that I guess they're, instead of paying rent, or instead of heating their homes or paying rent, they have to choose to like not put the heater on and pay rent. And then in order to stay warm, they go to these community warm centers. Imagine going to a community warm center and saying, I love it here. I have warmth in this spot. The Oasis Centre in Waterloo, London. Thousands of warm banks. Imagine, this is so dystopian, a warm bank where you have to go to be warm because people can't pay for their own warmth. Warm banks have opened their doors across the UK this winter as household budgets are squeezed even further by spiking energy bills and inflation reaching 40-year highs, leaving many scrambling for a way to pay for basic necessities. There are more than 3,000 registered organizations running warm banks in Britain, according to the Warm Welcome Campaign, an initiative that signposts community-led responses to the cost of living crisis. A lot of people are struggling. Charlotte, a community and families worker at the center, tells CNN her full name is not being disclosed for privacy reasons. We haven't really got to the peak of the living crisis yet. The 33-year-old mother of 4 adds. Well, they're getting really close to releasing. Like, I could feel like I could find out who this is. Charlotte. They gave her first name, not a last name, but they gave her age and how many kids she has. A lot of people are struggling, Charlotte says. She's a worker for the family worker at the center, the Warm Welcome Campaign. And she's 33, a mother of 4 kids. I mean, do the math. You can probably find that. You probably know who that person is. The hub is funded by donations from individuals with local businesses, as well as grant incomes from charitable trusts. The cost of living has risen sharply since early 2021, according to the data of the UK government. From October 21 to October 2022, domestic gas and domestic gas and electricity prices increased by 129% and 66% respectively. Jesus Christ. What happened to going green? Isn't that supposed to be cheaper? Isn't England going green? Aren't they like super into that stuff? Going green, also a topic of debate during the great family gathering of Christmas. My family talks about a lot of things. Another major one was feminism, which is always fun. That's a heated discussion, especially when you're a man. It's probably a more even debate when it's a woman debating against a woman, but it's fun. It's a fun debate. Brittany Griner. Who can forget that one? That one's a classic. That if you want to spice up your Christmas, bring up Brittany Griner, because then you'll see where a lot of people sit from. I don't know who that is to, she should have stayed in Russia, or some people, just kill her on the tarmac. But it's a long range. What I'm saying is a big range there, and you can get a lot of good conversation started. Yeah, it's a good Christmas. It's a good Christmas when you start bringing up Brittany Griner, the trade of the century. But yeah, what's going on with England? I don't know. Obviously, something is not right if people are like having to go to these warm centers. Like, that's just so okay, why is this happening? And do you guys need help? Like, these people aren't homeless is what's crazy. Because America, we do have a homeless problem. I'll be the first to admit. But, I mean, England, your people in their homes aren't warm. They might as well be homeless. That's when you have a real problem, is when your people in their homes might as well be homeless. I mean, they're barely living a better life than homeless people. What's going on in England? Who knows? Kris Kringle should start delivering some better, I don't know. Kris Kringle should deliver some better energy bills. Whatever. Who cares? Really. I mean, this article goes on for pretty long, and I'm not really going to read it. I don't really care. They're calling for the government to realize that it doesn't take action to support those who are the most vulnerable. It's going to take a huge increase in the number of people turning to the NHS door to seek help because the fact that they are now living in cold, damp home that makes them sick. So people are living in cold, damp homes in England. I kind of, when I picture England, though, I do kind of imagine every home to be cold and damp and making people sick. So I'm actually kind of surprised that wasn't already happening. Like, every home I imagine in England is the home from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like, there's 4 people sitting leg to head in a like a two beds combined. And there's a little kid. I got it. I got the golden ticket. And then the grandpa hops up and he's like, I'll be taking that. Yoink. I got the golden ticket. You know, and then they start dancing. That's what I imagine goes on at every Christmas home. Except instead of a golden ticket, it's like they bring home, I don't know, what do they eat? Like a pigeon? I guess they would bring home like maybe a pigeon. I got some pigeon for us tonight. British food is really gross. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Scottish food was better than British food. Like, I don't even know if there's anything that's considered British food except for like the full British breakfast. But I'm like, I would kind of just rather have, you know, like Waffle House. In some cases, it's like a quarter of the price because it's like a $15 meal for their full English breakfast, but it's like 15 of their money, and their money's like worth more than ours or something. Or would it be worth less? If it cost more for the same, I guess theirs might be worth less. Not worthless, but worth less. But yeah, England's gross, and it's always like gray and dreary. I think when we got there, it was just gray. Like, everything is gray. It's like how I imagine. Like, if you've ever watched like a movie where they record Mexico, but they just put it like a yellow filter over everything. Of course, that's not really how Mexico looks, but if you put a gray filter over everything, that is how Britain looks. I mean, it is kind of dreary. And I don't know why. I've only been there once, and it was when I was 18, so my memory is, I mean, pretty fresh, and everything did seem a little dreary. I was in the midst of a crippling depression. I mean, probably not really, but I was all right. I made it out. We're good. Family Christmas charm. Oh yeah, that's the girl who made everyone pay. Let's move on to another one. Airbnb. I always love a good Airbnb story. Airbnb announces ban on slave cabin rentals. I didn't know this was a thing. In long overdue announcement, Airbnb says they were longer allow people to list properties that were previously used to house enslaved people. Wow. Over the summer, a TikTok exposing a slave cabin listing in Mississippi went viral. Now every slavery-related listing, oh my God. Imagine that. Imagine Airbnb. You know how they have one that's like Lakeside. You click it, it's like a filter. Lakeside. With a view. Hot tub included. Access to a pool. Was used for slavery. That's like something people are looking up. I want to look up this TikTok. Here we go.
This is not okay in the least bit. And I know there's going to be somebody that says, oh, you're looking for controversy where it doesn't exist. No, this is an 1830s slave cabin that is up on Airbnb as a bed and breakfast. How do I know that this is slave quarters other than just using my eyes and looking at it? Well, they say it in the listing. This particular structure, the Panther Burn Cabin, is an 1830s slave cabin from the Panther Burn Plantation. How is this okay in somebody's mind to rent this out, a place where human beings were kept as slaves? Rent this out as a bed and breakfast. Here it is. That's it right there, the slave quarters next to the big house. It's in Greenville, Mississippi. That's the host, Brad, the super host. But what really kills me is reviews. Memorable. Highly recommend watching the sunset. We stayed in the sharecropper cabin in the main house.
Oh my God. They stayed in the share. I highly recommend the sharecropper cabin. Me and my girlfriend slept so nice, watching the sunrise from where slaves used to lay. I mean, what in the world? That's crazy.
The host, Brad, the super host. But what really kills me is reviews. Memorable. Highly recommend watching the sunset. We stayed in the sharecropper cabin and ate in the main house. Enjoyed everything about our stay. The cottage, the history, the tour, the breakfast, and all was great. We stayed in the cabin and it was historic but elegant. A slave cabin is elegant. What a delightful place to stay.
I love this. Okay, I don't love the idea of this, but I love that this exists. I just imagine some like Instagram wannabe model, like Instagram, quote unquote Instagram influencer, those girls who just like post their ass and then they have followers because they're hot, not because they're interesting or they have anything to say or they're not an artist in any way. They're just hot. I just imagine one of those being like, hashtag slave cabin. Hashtag spent the night as a slave. They do a day in the life as a slave. Like just the most horrific shit and they're just like posting a day in the life of it. Like these reviews are crazy. Unhinged. Truly unhinged. A delightful place to step into history. Southern hospitality. Stay a night or two. Wendy, you're crazy. What the hell? She said it was a delightful place to step into history. Okay? Yeah. Like, do you think before you send out those messages, you know what history you're stepping into? That's crazy.
Step into history. Southern hospitality and stay a night or two. Cool spot. Way better than a hotel. Maybe you're thinking, okay, maybe this will give people insight on how enslaved people had to live, their living conditions. No, not at all. Clawfoot tub, running water, tile, nice lighting fixtures, water, towels, dresser. The history of slavery in this country is constantly denied, and now it's being mocked by being...
I mean, that is crazy. They're turning into a tourist destination. Stay your night or two as a slave. You go to the gift shop and they're selling like... I don't even know. I don't even know if I can do this bit because it's so fucked up. I mean, it's fucked up what they're doing. That's crazy. Airbnb people okay, the thing is that the people that do Airbnbs is either that or rent it out. And I think that renting it out long term to someone might be worse. I mean, imagine long-term rental of a slave cabin. I mean, I mean, that guy starts feeling really weird after probably month 2. You start having like issues with running water. You have to send someone out there because these people don't really go out. So you're sending someone out there to your slave cabin to handle your. It starts getting weird for them. I think Airbnb may have been the best solution for this, besides tear it down or move it to like, or turn it into a museum is probably the best case. Airbnb, I mean, it's great. No, it's crazy. No, it's crazy either way. I mean, that's wild. That's wild. I just want to find the post of someone, an influencer doing staying the day at this Mississippi cabin. I woke up around 4:30 to the most beautiful sunrise. I can't imagine they saw this every day. In the morning, I went to the sharecropper quarters and had my breakfast. It was amazing and full of nutritious, homegrown from their own garden vegetables. In the afternoon, we went into town. We took a horse and buggy into town. You know, one of those. In the afternoon, we went home and we lit a candle and had, we both sat in the, on the porch and watched the sunset. Overall, I'd give this place a 10 out of 10. I highly recommend. Like, it's just weird thinking about, like, imagine you know someone who's spent the night here and you're like, oh, where did you stay? And they're like, oh, it was this beautiful place in Mississippi. We stopped there. We just wanted a really nice low-key place to set up shop. We were moving on in a couple days, so we found this really, really cute place. It was not too big. It had some nice exposed wood finish, and you're like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool. Where is this place? Did you have any pictures or whatever? They pull up the pictures and then you see it. Like, this is a picture of a small shack next to what is obviously a slave-style house. And they're like, oh. That's a good way to talk about starting a conversation during during Christmas. But yeah, I mean, as of recently, I guess you cannot. So this was published in December 19th of 2022. You can no longer rent slave cabins, and I guess this was like a long thing going, because that's the fact that it was an issue that they had to resolve. Let's see if they have any like words from the person who owns Airbnb. Discrimination and bias unfortunately did happen in our world, so they play out on platforms like Airbnb, and that's unacceptable to us. We want everyone to feel safe using our platform. We believe you can't fix what you don't measure, so we're using Project Lighthouse to help us uncover disparities among perceived racial groups and inform our work to make Airbnb more equitable for people of color. Whatever that means. That is like the biggest non-answer I've ever heard in my life. I kind of like that fireplace going, heating up my hands. Let's go into the last news, and then we have a lot of Christmas going, or a lot of TikToks. This is some new information on artificial intelligence. A Roomba recorded a woman on the toilet. How did screenshots end up on Facebook? In the fall of 2022, gig workers in Venezuela posted a series of images on an online forum where they gathered to talk shop. The photos were mundane, if sometimes intimate. Household scenes captured from low angles, including some you really wouldn't want to be shared on the internet. One in particular revealing shot, a woman in a lavender t-shirt sits on the toilet, her shorts pulled down mid-thigh. The shots were taken not by a person, but by developing versions of iRobot's Roomba J7 series robot vacuums. They were then sent to Scale AI, a startup that contracts workers around the world to label audio, photo, and video data into a train artificial intelligence. Yet, earlier this year, MIT, blah, 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 obtained 15 screenshots of these private photos, which had been posted to closed social media groups. The photos vary in type and sensitivity, but the most infinite image was saw by featuring young women on the toilet, her face blocked by the lead image, but obscured grainy scroll. So it's interesting that they have apparently a way to view Roombas. AI is looking into Roombas. I really don't know. I haven't read this whole thing, but the photos vary in type. The other shots were from rooms from around the home, some occupied by humans. Does this say what the deal is? Oh, I see. So the company at Roomba subcontracts a company to look through photos, and some of these people leaked these images? That's crazy. That's freaky. Well, interesting. I kind of don't like Roombas now. Oh my god. So a Roomba scans. So when it maps out your home, it's literally scanning objects in the room. And it's sending it to an AI that's learning images and makes all the Roombas better with each software update. I don't like that at all. I'm like not a fan of that at all. It's showing an image here of a Roomba, the view from a Roomba, and it's like it outlines all the objects in real time and labels what they are. So this has cabinet, door frame, stuff like that. That's really disturbing. Well, if anyone got Roombas out there for Christmas, I'd keep an eye. I'd keep an eye on them. Keep a close eye on that Roomba. They're learning. The fact that Roombas run off of AI is deeply disturbing too. But anyways, let's get right into TikTok time. We got a few good TikToks. So let's start with this one. This is pretty fun.
How I budget 15K a month allowance as 19-year-old.
This is how I budget 15K a month allowance as a 19-year-old student.
In New York City. It's Christmas season now, so I'm spending most of my days gift shopping. Going out to eat every night is a must in New York City. I also go to Sephora at least once a week, obviously. Renting a Tesla for $500
Renting
a
a
day
Tesla.
from time to time. Groceries for me and my boyfriend add up to just over $1,000 a month. I spend at least $1K on presents for myself, like this Mac, and I
Spends 1K on
Most of my
presents.
days
So let's see what she's spending. So we've got
allowance as a 19-year-old student in New York City. It's Christmas season now, so I'm spending most of my days gift shopping.
gift
Going
shopping,
out to eat every night is a must in
out
New
to
York
eat
City.
every
I
day.
also go to Sephora at least once a week, obviously.
Sephora once a week.
Renting a Tesla for $500 a day and Ubering from time to time. Groceries for me and my boyfriend add up to just over $1,000 a month.
Groceries
I spend at least 1K on
$1,000.
presents for myself, like this Mac, and
A
I also drink
MacBook.
at least one coffee a day. Remember,
Coffee a
guys,
day.
YOLO.
Remember, guys, YOLO. That gets me into this Christmas spirit of spending 15K of my parents' allowance as a New York student. That's fun. It's fun. That's a Christmas gag right there. That's fun. Here's another video. I kind of went down a rabbit hole with her videos.
How I budget my 15K month allowance as a 18-year-old student. I don't like living on campus, so I rent. I drink at least one coffee a day. I eat out every day and always pay for my friends. I love shopping. I'm always either renting a Tesla or taking Ubers, and lastly, I'm spending too much money at Trader Joe's.
That's fun. That's good. Spending too much money at Trader Joe's. I can relate. That's relatable. That might be the most relatable TikTok I've seen. How I budget my $15K a month allowance. All right, here's Joe Rogan on a podcast.
Hey, Jamie, can you pull up that picture of the bunny from Zootopia? Yep, there it is. Good God. Look at that. That's crazy. I mean, look at the proportions. It's beautiful. Look at the glutes.
So obviously that's not actually him, but it's funny. Here's a video of Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, this video it gives me really weird vibes. This is Mr. Beast on a podcast. And I've said this before, but Mr. Beast is like probably one of the most devious people on the planet. He looks so unassuming, but he knows that money can buy anything. And the way that he has this conversation just it puts me in a weird place. So I'll play it for you.
Two humans interact the way these guys do. It's
I don't
very
know. So many
fascinating.
people want us to fuck, and we just won't do it.
Well, you would, for the right price.
Nah.
No,
Is that
here-
the next?
No.
That's gonna be a banger.
Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck. Everyone has a price for everything. Like, bro, $10 trillion, enough where you can buy all of fucking America, everything in America.
You are evil.
If I had to
It's
fuck
true, he
Cody
is.
for
Everybody has a price.
if I had to fuck Cody for $1 trillion, I'd be vomiting all over his back.
I don't really care. I don't care about the rest, but I mean, is that not like devious? That comes off really devious. He has villain energy. Really, really weird vibes from Mr. Beast. And all of his videos seem like AI generated. Like he's barely a person, you know? Like Mr. Beast is barely a person. Any bit of personality that he had left, it's like he's boiled down making YouTube videos to such a science that even all of his thumbnails, like if you go to Mr. Beast on YouTube right now, all of his thumbnails have like the same face. It's the same angle. It's, a combination of certain colors. He finds out which colors work the best on click rate. What sound effects to add where. It's freaky how serious he takes YouTube. And he takes it that serious because he's giving away millions and millions of dollars and stuff, and he's making millions of dollars. But it's just disturbing because it's like, it's an art form, but it's also it's like lost all sense of. I mean, is it really art? But is a challenge video? I mean, is it challenge video art? I don't know. But it's just like it's so artificial. That's the only way I can describe Mr. Beast. He's like an AI, a rich AI. He's like an AI person. He's like a robot. He's like Zuckerberg. If Zuckerberg was like less fish-like, less serpentine Mark Zuckerberg, less Asperger's and more just like social anxiety. I don't know. I really get bad vibes from Mr. Beast. Like really creepy vibes. Like if he had enough money, he would be like first one to approach the Oval Office wins whatever $50,000. Like he has the power to demand things as a challenge video, and he gets thousands of people involved. He could tweet today and say, "Hey, I'm showing up at YouTube headquarters. Here's the address. First one into the building wins $1,000, or first one to break the correct window. I've chosen, hey guys, I'm Mr. Beast. Before this video began, I've chosen a random window on the YouTube headquarters. I'm tweeting out right now, first one to break the right window wins. Here we go." And then it like cuts. And it's Mr. Beast. He's like, hi, what's your name? And the kid's like, I'm Mark. I'm 15. I saw your tweet. I'm here to break some windows. All right, you get one throw. Here's a brick. And then they throw, like, it just, like, starts happening. And he's like, oops, guys, we didn't expect this, but the police have shown up. So I sent another tweet, and I said, first team of 15 people to flip over all the police vehicles wins a Tesla. And then, you know, like, he just, like, starts giving things away, and it's just weird. It gives me such weird vibes. I've never really been a fan of Mr. Beast. All of his videos feel very, very eerie. There's just something eerie about it. Like, he does these huge ones, like, last one to leave the island keeps it. Like, what type of villain Megamind or, like, Lex Luthor ass person gives away an island for YouTube clicks? And then on all these, I have a bone to pick with Mr. Beast, and I don't know if he'll ever see this, or if he cares about some dude sitting in a bathrobe on his floor. But he just gives me such weird vibes. Like, in every interview, he's like, yeah, I actually don't keep a lot of the money. A lot of the money just goes straight to whoever wins. You know, we crowdfund the money from the advertisers, and most of it goes straight to them. And I'm like, I know that's not true because you're wearing a full Versace bodysuit right now. Like, you've got head-to-toe Versace, and you're telling me that you don't keep a lot of the money. He's like, yeah, I live pretty modestly. It's like, can you really live modestly if you're giving away Teslas? Gives away 20 Teslas. I'm just really interested to see where Mr. Beast goes. And I feel like his friends aren't even that rich. Like, they don't get much from the... Like, he works them to death, and they don't get much out of it. Like, in the beginning, they were the ones winning all the challenges, but now he just has random viewers that are probably pre-screened, and probably a lot of them are probably actors. I just don't... There's a lot about Mr. Beast that I'm interested in finding out. Like, he probably has people signed NDAs, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes with Mr. Beast that I don't want to know, and I don't want to be involved with, because he seems like the kind of guy that me saying this. Normally, if it was about someone who's like, oh, he's chill, he's funny, it's like, oh, who cares? But Mr. Beast has like a weird dark side, where it's like, maybe if you say some bad shit to him, maybe why no one says bad shit is because it's not allowed to get aired. You know? Like, if anyone has a bad, negative view on Mr. Beast, it's like silenced. I don't know. I haven't heard bad things about Mr. Beast, and that's in of itself. I mean, people have bad opinions on everyone. People have bad opinions on people like Gandhi. How is there no one who has a bad opinion, like a negative opinion on Mr. Beast, except for me? I can't be the only one who has this opinion. I've spent way too long ranting on Mr. Beast. I don't trust him, though. That's what I'm saying. I do not trust him. And I think some pretty interesting stuff will come soon. Keep an eye out. Oh, some Christmas advice from the man himself, Gary V. Motivation extraordinaire.
Everybody look at your phone right now. Now, put that phone down and
put that phone down.
Get into a handstand or some weird position and look at it again.
Okay.
And now stand on your table and look at it again. And now go 15 steps away and look at it again. Look at your phone.
Yeah.
Different perspectives. Yeah. This is a perspective game.
Wow.
And I hope that's what we accomplished for one person who's not in the right perspective.
Guys, you aren't thinking. Rewind that and listen to it 20 more times. You aren't thinking correctly. You're not thinking with the Gary V mindset. About perspective. Upside down. Look at your phone. Throw it into the air. Take a mental screenshot. Now, flush it down the toilet. Perspectives, guys. You got to get perspectives on this. I hope if we helped one person today. All right, we got two more. We got 2 more here. I love Gary Vee.
Well, I officially fucked up at the strip club. Woo!
Dude, this guy looks unhinged, man. Wait, does he kind of look like me? He looks like a way more unhinged for like his eyes. Like this is like me if I was like 50 years old and was like an avid smoker and was also on cocaine and also had like the guy has no lips. Might be part of like the smoking.
$250 fucking dollars.
And no teeth, apparently. Oh, this is a fun one. This is this is a Fox News compilation.
The war on Christmas, a war on Thanksgiving.
This war on fun.
The war on straws. The war on meat.
Joe Biden declared war on freedom yesterday.
It's a war on small businesses.
The war on dogs.
There is a war on parents.
The left's war on children.
War on privacy in middle America.
It's a war on business, a war on building, a war on growth. This is a war on police now.
Whoa.
It's a war on achievement.
There is a war on hot dogs.
A war on white journalists.
No. That's where I draw the line. You can do a war on Christmas, a war on straws, a war on meat, a war on dogs, a war on children. I don't give a shit about all that, but when it comes to a war on hot dogs, that's where I draw the line.
On hot dogs.
A war
On achievement.
There is a war on hot dogs.
A war on white journalists.
Great point.
The government's war on the Attilas Gym in New Jersey.
War on men.
War on cars.
War on appetite.
Man, dude, I love Tucker. I mean, it's hard to hate Tucker when he says this. It's a war on the Artillis Gym in New Jersey. There's a war on a very specific gym in New Jersey.
Journalists.
Great point.
The government's war on the Attilas Gym in New Jersey.
War on men.
War on cars.
War on appetizers.
War on Christianity and Judaism.
War on MAGA.
War on Christmas parties.
The war on the suburbs.
War on school choice.
The war on conservative women.
Declaring war on cows.
There's war on wealthy Americans.
There's war on Republican governors. War on all things conservative. The war on American culture.
The war on, yes, white men.
Whoa.
Fox.
War on soda.
There's now a war on styrofoam.
The Democrats' war on cooking with gas.
The
war on the taxpayer.
There's war on legal guns.
War on toxic masculinity. War on red hats.
Biden's war on tradition.
War on YouTube conservatives.
War on knives.
Wow. All right, guys. I hope you took notes on that one because that's a lot of wars to keep track of. You thought it was only war on drugs? No. It's war on everything. I got this one. This one's a pretty crazy.
An American police officer has overdosed on the job during a traffic stop. Dramatic Vision shows the officer unresponsive on the side of the road after she was exposed to fentanyl. The officers were conducting a traffic stop when the wind blew the deadly drug into her face, causing her to overdose.
I mean, is fentanyl that actually... I saw this video and I thought, there's no way fentanyl is that deadly where a breeze can pick it up and you can overdose off of a breeze. Like, is this propaganda or is this real? I know they say the lethal dose is the size of a pinprick or whatever, and it's like, okay, yeah, but how do you know? I mean... Am I trusting every person that says a lethal dose of everything? How do you know? Are you injecting it in someone? It's like the old adage of beating a man half to death. How do you know he's half to death? Like, you can't until you beat him to death. You can't really quantify where the half mark was. I mean, how do you measure a lethal dose? I'm no scientist, but I mean, to quantify that, you'd probably have to inject a lethal dose into someone. What CIA business is doing this? I guess they find people that have overdosed and then look in their bloodstream to see how much fentanyl was in there. But still, that doesn't really seem that scientific. Just saying. But like it's hard for me to believe that a breeze blows into your face with fentanyl and you die and you go into an overdose state. Seems like propaganda. Like this whole fentanyl thing, I know it's bad, but it's getting sort of beyond where I believe now.
An American police officer has overdosed on the job during a traffic stop. Dramatic Vision shows
I mean, that's a funny sentence. Like without any
overdosed on the job during a traffic stop. An American police officer has overdosed on the job during a
I mean, that's a funny bit right there.
traffic stop. Dramatic Vision shows the officer unresponsive on the side of the road after she was exposed to fentanyl. The officers were conducting a traffic stop when the wind blew the deadly drug into her face, causing
Dude,
her
when the wind is deadly, you know you have a problem. Like walking down Seattle and the wind is deadly. Like, what do you do? If you can have the wind blow into your face, can you walk through Skid Row and get blown and overdose off of the air? Is that what they want me to believe now? I really can't believe this. I mean, this seems so unlikely. Unless it was like pocket sand, you know, from what's that? King of the Hill, where he takes the pocket sand and whoosh, whoosh, he blows it into their face. He blows it into their face, the pocket sand. If that guy just had like a handful of fentanyl and whoosh, blew it into their, that's what they qualify as the wind. The wind blew it. That seems more likely than just the wind. Like, how did the driver not die? Is the wind not affecting everyone else? Like, this just seems like a CIA propaganda. And I'll keep an eye on this down the road. But this fentanyl, this breeze fentanyl thing, how are people not dying on Skid Row? People are doing fentanyl all the time. All right, we'll end with this. This is a fun TikTok. A new TikTok account that I found, which I will be keeping eyes on.
Hi, my name is Melissa, and I'm a junior in high school, and I've recently been accused of murdering my brother, so I'd like to come on here and spread the truth about how this did not happen, because I know there's been a lot of false information being spread on the news. I am innocent.
This is what TikTok was made for. It went from a children's app to now being used to...
My lawyer is telling me not to speak publicly about my murder case, but I will not be silenced.
Dude, her lawyer is hitting himself in the head right now. He's, shut up, shut up.
When my brother was killed, it was 10:30, and I was at my friend's house at 11. How can I kill someone if I'm not even with them?
Oh, wait. I mean, that's not really a solid alibi. That's a 30-minute... You can kill someone in 30 minutes. You can kill someone in 2. Believe it or not, people have died in 30 minutes. So, I mean, that's not the tightest alibi. So your lawyer might be on the right track saying you might not want to be publicized, you know, publicly talking about this whole case. But
my lawyer is telling me not to speak publicly about my murder case, but I will not be silenced. When my brother was
also, how are you doing a murder case and you're just in your car doing a TikTok? I thought they keep you in like jail, right? Unless... Do they let you out on bail for murder? I'm starting not to believe this, but I'll keep an eye on this going down the line, and you know, we could have some interesting developments on this. But that being said, thank you guys for a episode 100 going into the new year. Merry Christmas, everyone. I know it's been fun and I've had a good time, so wanted to go out with a classic. I forgot and wait. Oh wait, I need to pull up the lyrics. Auld Lang. This is for you. Everyone who tunes in, all 50 of you. Yeah, there's about 50. We had about 40 people on the last episode. 10 like listeners, 40 on the YouTube. So sing it with me, boys and girls who listen. Here we go. Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, oh, for old lang syne. I have a cold. We'll take a cup of kindness yet, and for old lang syne. And surely you'll buy your pint cup, and surely I'll buy mine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet, and for old lang syne. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for episode 100. I couldn't have done it without you. Share with a friend. Don't. Who cares? Going into the new year, happy, Merry Christmas, and remember, thanks for listening.